Hi, good night, everyone. How are you all doing? Just give me a moment. Let me share this live on the business page. And we have with us tonight a special person. Yes, and that person is in the name of Latoya Jackson. Yes,
Hi.
guys. We have Latoya Jackson in the house.
That's
And
right.
I know you all probably want to know if she's related to the Jacksons, right? I'll let her tell you that for herself.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
related to the Jacksons, but Latoya Jackson is my real name.
Very nice, very nice. So Latoya is actually from Chicago. Well, from Ohio, but she is residing in Chicago at this stage.
Yes,
So
yes.
good. And Latoya is one of our guest speakers at the Direc-HER Summit, ladies. So tonight we're going to interview her a bit. And Latoya, please tell us a bit more about you tonight.
Well, my name is Latoya Jackson. I'm the president and CEO of Excel Capital Group, and I help entrepreneurs get funding for their business. So, whether they are looking to obtain financing or learn how to build business credit with their EIN that's not attached to their personal credit scores, I help entrepreneurs do that.
Awesome. So you hear that for those of you who live abroad, this is the person you have to go to help you get financing. And abroad meaning in the United States of America. Okay? So not from England and not from Canada, but from the United States of America. That is excellent, Latoya. So Latoya, the summit is drawing nigh. We have
Yep.
been interviewing a number of speakers thus far. It has been really, really, really exciting. We have a number of persons that has signed up, and each day I'm seeing persons, just signing up. I'm getting the notification. I'm just all excited because it's like, yes, people is getting the vision. This summit is the summit of the year, according to Jordan. It is the best summit, and it's a summit with a difference because we are dealing with the woman as a whole, and we're dealing with the business side of the woman as well as
Yep.
the personal side, her mental, everything concerning the woman. And that's where you come in on your end with your session, where you will be helping us and teaching us about financing for our businesses.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. During the summit, I'm going to be talking to you ladies about funding. 29% of businesses fail due to lack of funding, right? And the majority of businesses fail after being in business only 2 years. And so funding is the number one reason why a lot of businesses go out of business. So I want to talk to you guys about the importance of making sure that you have your funding in order to start, grow, and scale your business. So at the summit, I'm going to talk to you guys about capital. We're going to talk about what's going on in the economy right now as it relates to the coronavirus and how it's impacting businesses. We're going to talk about the funds that's available from the government for businesses, but we're also going to talk about some things that's not available to them that you can get on your own and you can use to help you with your business. So I'm going to talk specifically about building business credit. I'm going to talk about the two ways you get it, whether you are leveraging your personal credit score or whether you want to build business credit with your EIN that has nothing to do with your personal credit score. And I'm going to break down the 4 levels to building business credit. So if this is something that you are interested in, entrepreneurs, or you're looking for funding for your business, you definitely want to check out this summit because I'm going to give you a lot of great information that you can use in your business today to help you grow, scale your business. So definitely make sure you register and check it out.
Excellent. And you know what? That is something major. That's a lot. Financing is a big issue for many of us because we want to go into business, we want to expand, but many a times we pull back because we don't have the resources to do such. And
Exactly.
that's a major, major, major impact. And we are of the firm belief that financial institutions do not support us. We are of that firm belief. However, after speaking with you a couple of days ago, I realized that there's a workaround if we just educate ourselves on it.
Absolutely. I think that a lot of entrepreneurs entrepreneurs, they generally think that you can go to a bank to get funding. And when you go to a bank, they have a lot of restrictions in terms of getting access to capital, right? They want you to have the 3 C's. They want you to have the capital, they want you to have the cash flow, and they want you to have collateral. Generally, they want you to be in business for 2 years. A lot of times they want you to have $250K in revenue. They want you to have a 720 credit score across all three credit bureaus. Sometimes they want you to provide personal and business tax returns. Sometimes they want you to provide collateral, because most businesses fail. They want to make sure that they protect themselves against that risk. And that's why they ask you to pledge your personal and business assets. And so the reason I started Excel Capital Group is because I wanted to educate entrepreneurs. Like, the bank is not the only place that you can go to get funding. There are lenders out here who specialize in working with startups to make sure that they can get access to capital. There's lenders out here who can give you up to 150K in business credit without you having all of those stipulations that the bank look for. And so at the summit, I'm going to talk about the other types of funding that's available to you outside of the bank if you need capital for your business. Because if you're a new entrepreneur or a new real estate investor, it can be hard to get capital. And so I want to educate people on all the type of funding that's available to them. And I do that in the summit. So make sure you get your tickets.
Exactly. Make sure you get your tickets. Let's talk a bit about what can we do, Latoya? What can we do to improve our finances, improve the way we manage money? Because you know what part of our issue is? We get this lump sum of capital, but then we do not use it wisely. We tend to take from it to spend on personal debt. So we claim it for the business, and then we take a fraction of it or the majority, and we end up using it for personal debt to clear our personal expenses. And then the business suffers again. What can you advise?
I'm so glad you asked that question. So you are exactly right. A lot of times people get access to capital and they have no plan what they're going to do with it. And so what they typically do is they, renovate the house, pay off some debt, take vacations, buy big screen TVs, where they're putting money into depreciating assets. You need to use money. You need to leverage it in order to grow your business or to build some generational wealth. So that's one of the things that I talk about. How do you use this capital to grow your business or to build some generational wealth? The whole purpose of leverage is using borrowed capital in order to make more money. If you don't do it that way, then you are simply wasting the money, turning it into more consumer debt, and you're going to be worse off financially than you were before you even get the capital. So in the seminar, I talk about all the different ways you can leverage business credit. Whether you are trying to purchase real estate and rehab, whether you are trying to grow your business and pay yourself on payroll, maybe you want to purchase some stocks and bonds and mutual funds, right? You want to leverage credit or your capital for good debt, not bad debt. So bad debt, like I mentioned earlier, when you're renovating the house, you are paying off personal debt, you're taking vacations. That's not a good use of borrowed capital. You want to leverage it for good debt. So the example that I always use is like a real estate example, because that's my background. Let's say you have $100,000 and you want to buy a house, right? You can take $100,000 and buy one house, or you can leverage it, right? You can leverage it, work with the lender. The lender will require you to put down 20%. And they will finance the 80%. So instead of taking $100,000 to buy one house, you could take $100,000 and buy 5 houses just by putting 20% down, letting that lender finance the 80%. And if you're getting $800 a month, say you got a note at like 5%, that includes your taxes and insurance. So let's say that you're making $300 off of each building, right? So now you're making $1,500 a month off of 5 properties, and that's an 18% annual return. That's an example of good debt, leveraging your capital or your borrowed capital to make more money, right? So now instead of just having that $100,000 that you borrow, you got an 18% annual return. So in the seminar, I talk about what to do when you get this capital, right? You don't want to waste it and treat it like consumer debt. You want to leverage it to either grow your business or build some generational wealth. If not, then it wasn't a good use of the borrowed capital or the business credit.
Yeah, excellent point. I totally agree with what you said. And you keep using a word, generational wealth.
Yes.
Generational wealth. That is something that we don't plan for.
There are a lot of things that we don't plan for. And trust me, I've made mistakes too. So I'm speaking from experience. But the things that we don't plan for as entrepreneurs, first of all, we never have an emergency fund, right? You need to have an emergency fund in the event something happens, right? In my situation, I quit my job and then my taxes tripled on my house. Right. But that's a whole nother story. We can get into that another day. But what I'm saying is you need to have funds in case of emergency if something was to happen, especially if it's outside of your control. We also don't plan for our retirement. What type of, 401ks, IRAs, what type of retirement do we have set up if you are no longer working your job or you plan to transition to full-time entrepreneurship? We also don't have insurance set up. Right. So life insurance, the difference between term and whole. Are you set up so that if in the event something was to happen, you have things in place that can take care of you and your family? Right. Do you have your estate planning together? Right. Do you have your wills, trusts, powers of attorney? These are all the things that you need to have in place so that you are protecting yourself, protecting your family, and leaving things to them. Like if you die, right? Do you have instructions on what's supposed to happen to your house? Right. If you don't, it'll be in probate and they'll decide who gets what. Well, why don't you set up some things in the beginning so that your family doesn't have to deal with probate, right? And you can have those assets protected and ready to pass on to the next living family member. So there are a lot of things that we don't plan for. And I talked about that, at the summit. Not only do you want to leverage your money to either build your business, grow your business, but you also want to leverage it to build some generational wealth and make sure you have things in order for generational wealth. That includes your estate planning, that includes your retirement planning, that includes your stocks and bonds, that includes real estate. You need to make sure all of these things are in place. Sometimes we don't pay ourselves appropriately, we're paying our employees or we're not, taking care of our taxes and our bookkeeping, unless something happens, you get an audit. Oh, all of a sudden I should have had my taxes and my bookkeeping done, right? So you don't want to pay things like that. You want to plan ahead, and especially during times like this with this pandemic, and no one could have ever predicted that this could have happened, right? You want to make sure that the next time something like this comes around or we get into another recession, that you are okay and that you can continue to move forward and grow your business and then not take you out of business. So we talk about that at the summit.
Yeah, you nailed a lot of points there, a lot of important things there. One of it is actually estate planning.
Yes.
Oh my God. We have learned, what? Education is so important.
Yes.
We need to educate ourselves. But we tend to say we'll do these things for later. And this COVID period, this pandemic has exposed our weaknesses.
Absolutely.
It has shown us where we went wrong. So a lot of things that we were, leaving for later. No, I'll deal with that later. I will spend all my money in party. I'll spend my money going on expensive vacation. Nothing is wrong with those things. The thing is, what if a situation happens? Can you live for 2 or 3 months? And this pandemic has shown that we cannot. So we're depending on help from different agencies to take us through. Now, there's a time and place for those things. But the question is, what are we doing now, to prevent it? Even in my country, where we saw we had a lockdown, and then from the lockdown, different parts of the economy started to open up. And, so many things open up. You see people spending money, just spending money. And I remember reading a comment on the newspaper article, and the person said, we are spending money and we do not know when the second wave is coming. And now our country is facing a second wave. And it's highly likely the way it's going, things are going to get bad. Even when it's really going to get bad. So we're going to have no money again. What did we learn? And I think education is so important to prepare for death, life after death, not our life necessarily, but the life of the loved ones. What is going to happen to them when we pass on? Are we going to leave them with a mountain of debt? So a number of things we have to do as individuals and as entrepreneurs, as women, we have to prepare wisely, be prudent in the way we manage money, the way we look for financing, the way we spend money. Like I remember seeing someone with jars and each jar has a label on it for the different types of expenses. Now, it might sound, childish or humorous, but the truth is, do what works for you. If you have to put jars there, one labeled electricity bill, the other labeled tithes, the other one is labeled entertainment. If that's the way you have what you have to do to manage money, then so be it. But we need to plan, and as a generation, we don't plan. We don't plan.
Yeah, and I just want to add to that. This pandemic exposed a lot of things that we put off till later, right? Some entrepreneurs, didn't have their entity set up correctly. Some of them didn't have their taxes or their bookkeeping done. Some of them didn't have life insurance. Some of them didn't have other things set up correctly, like their EIN, their business bank account, right? And so you couldn't even qualify for some of this free funding that's available from the government because you simply were not set up. And so this pandemic exposed every entrepreneur in some way, shape, or form to show you that we have to get our things in order if we're going to survive. There is no more of this just getting by here and there. You can't just have one stream of income, right? If the government shuts your business down today, how are you going to feed yourself? Is your only source of income, right? So this has shown us that we need to, get our business things in order. We need to have our insurance set in order. We need to, because we still have expenses, right? Even though some businesses were ordered to shut down, you still may have rent, you still may have utilities, you still have insurance. Even though you're not making any revenue, you still have expenses. So at the end of the day, it's shown us that we need to have our things in order. We need to make sure that our credit is in order. We need to make sure that we have business credit that could be used as a line of liquidity in case of emergency. We need to be prepared for these types of things. And so we talk about that in the summit, all of the lessons that are learned from this pandemic and what we can do to pivot moving forward so that a situation like this can't catch us off guard. Because like you said, we might head for another shutdown. And the question is, we weren't prepared for the first one. Are we prepared for the second one? And so we talk about that at the seminar.
Time has flown so quickly, and you have shared so much valuable information in the past, 16, 17 minutes. I am so happy that, persons are able to see and to hear for themselves what it is they're going to get at the summit. They can finally put a face to the Latoya Jackson, meet you in person right now. And even at the summit, they can meet you also. So for those of you who are watching, this is Miss Latoya Jackson, and she will be with us at the Direc-HER Summit from the 1st to the 4th of September. Now, mind you, if you cannot attend the sessions because you have to work or you have other obligations, that's fine. When you have the All Access Pass, you are able to replay the videos for 60 days. You can pause, take notes, go back again, play again, rewind. You need to get the All Access Pass, ladies. You need to be at the Direc-HER Summit 1st to the 4th of September. So Latoya, do you want to leave any last words with us?
Yes. Just final words. All of our entrepreneurs, whether you are starting a new business, whether you are already established in business, make sure you get your tickets to the summit. It's a lot of great speakers, 18 speakers speaking on various topics that's going to help you with your business and help you individually or help you with personal development. So definitely make sure you get registered September 1st through the 4th. And I am so excited to share all of this information with you. If you guys have any questions after the summit, feel free to reach out. My company is Excel Capital Group. You can find us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. We do have a YouTube channel, so be sure to follow us, but make sure you attend the summit to get this information. It's very, very, very helpful and can just help you save your business. So check it out.
Thank you very much, Latoya, for being with us tonight. Thank you everyone for watching. And I'm looking forward to seeing you register, ladies. Okay, and men, I know you come back and review. I know you come back to my page and look at it. So please remember to pay for your wives to be at the summit. So thank you all and have a good night.
Bye everybody.